In order to fight COVID, the Ford government in Ontario famously brought in almost a form of martial law. Police across the province, go out, ask these people who are out there where they are, where they're going, what they're out there for. That was one day. The next day, police across the province said, we aren't going to be doing that. That's wrong. And the government changed its mind. Roman Baber is a conservative MPP. He was a conservative MPP until he got kicked out of the Ford government. And he's still sitting as an independent. He joins me right now because I want to put the question to you. Roman, has this government lost the moral authority to govern?
I'm not sure that they lost the moral authority as much as they lost the credibility and the mandate to govern. We're hearing calls from all across the province, from all sides of the ideological political aisle for the Premier's resignation. So it's clear that there's very little trust remaining in the ability of the Ford government to continue.
You mentioned ability. So, I mean, this was a giant flip-flop, a giant miscalculation. But there are a lot of complaints before then because, of course, Ontario is one of the worst jurisdictions in the world for COVID. It's spreading. And people are saying, government, you don't know what you're doing.
Well, interestingly enough, we're also one of the most locked down jurisdictions in the world. Doug Ford famously boasted about 3 weeks ago that we have the toughest restrictions in North America, and then proceeded to add restrictions every week after that.
And yet we have planes coming into the province every day from countries around the world, and people are just being allowed to go out into the population.
Well, what it also may suggest to us that perhaps lockdowns don't have the efficacy that some of our experts suggest they do. We're seeing states in the United States opening and experiencing a decline in COVID cases and mortality.
It's interesting as a matter of policy, if COVID is on the rise, bring in a lockdown, and it continues to be on the rise, bring in another lockdown, and which is what this government has done. In other words, stop banging your head against a brick wall and it'll feel better.
Well, you've got to be asking if lockdown was working so well, then why are we still in lockdown?
Yeah.
But in reality, this is a very sad topic because we have to come back to the toll of lockdown. We see Hamilton Health Sciences coming out, Children's Hospital, saying hospitalization of youth that attempted suicide attempts has tripled. We're seeing a mental health catastrophe in the province, not to mention an economic catastrophe. So why are we still in lockdown?
Well, I mean, you are a member of the provincial parliament. I want to ask you that. Why is it still on? Why isn't the opposition out there making changes to this and forcing the government to change it? Because businesses are saying small business lockdown, they're losing all their jobs and all their money, and big business is still going.
A more interesting question is why Doug is still in lockdown. Doug is still in lockdown because he doesn't know how to come out of lockdown. Because coming out of lockdown in the face of rising cases would be a tacit admission that everything he's done for the last 6 to 7 months has been a deadly mistake.
So, lockdowns are not us. Roman Baber, thank you very, very much. 3 minutes. Our Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, recently stood up in the House of Commons and prefaced his remarks by saying, and we will only work from the facts, quote, unquote, and then proceeded to lie by saying Britain was in a horrible, horrible third wave, trying to show, in fact, that Canada was not the worst in the world. Britain, though, had vaccines. Canada did not. And this was not reported in the mainstream Canadian media, the media paid for by Justin Trudeau. All of which, I'm telling you, is that it's important to have this 3-minute interview. Please subscribe, ask your friends to subscribe, and press that PayPal thing so we can continue on to bring you the news you otherwise might not know.